get the information about Bethsaida from the Gospels, and we get also from Josephus himself. He wrote about Bethsaida. He said that Bethsaida is located in what he called Lower Golan, next to the Sea of Galilee. That is what he said. Lower Golan, which means we know exactly where the Golan is, in which he was right. This is the low part of Golan. And we have also information about it from the Gospels. Now, the Gospel of John says explicitly, 3 apostles were born in Bethsaida, Peter, his brother Andrew, and another one by the name of Philip. We're all born in Golan, in Bethsaida, which is, according to John, is in Galilee. Now, there are 2 different districts. There is Golan and there is Galilee, and there is the Jordan River between the 2 of them, right? So we have some kind of, contradicting information about where Bethsaida is.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So in the later years, there were many other travelers who came, but they wanted to put it together, these 2 contradicting information together. All of them agreed with von Sitzendorf in 1807 or 5 or something like that. They all agreed that Bethsaida of Josephus, they said Bethsaida of Josephus is indeed in where von Sitzen identified it in the Lower Golan, on a mound which is so-called Etel.
Okay.
Etel means a mound with no name.
Yeah.
But they did not agree on where Bethsaida of the Gospels is, of John. Remember, what we need to do, we need to find a site that dates from the time of Jesus, because not only the 3 apostles were born there, according to John, but later tradition says that at least 5 apostles were born in Bethsaida. So we have...
So I heard about the Peter, Andrew, and Philip. Who were the other 2? Yeah,
the Zebedee brothers, which is 2 more.
Okay.
And so we have it. That's interesting because, out of 12, 5 were born in one place.
Yeah, that's an important place.
How come? Out of all 12, 5 were born in one place.
Yeah.
And it's like I would tell you that 40% of the lawyers of the Midwest were in Kansas City. Right? So
the interesting thing too is Bethsaida is kind of a small place too.
Correct, that's right.
Yeah,
if I tell you, if I tell you that it is in Kansas City, you would, that's a big
maybe
place,
Wichita.
Right?
They're all from Wichita.
50% of the lawyers of Nebraska were born in Norfolk.
Norfolk, Nebraska.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you would say, oh, what is going on there?
Yeah.
What people eat there? Where did they go to school?
Exactly.
And you either want to go and see it or you want to avoid it because they are lawyers.
Because maybe you might be called into ministry.
Yeah, who knows? Lawyers, So that was the assumption that, all of them agreed about one place, about Etel in the Golan, but none of them agreed about the Galilean. None of them said, that it might be that John didn't know his geography. None of them said. In fact, this is a very good argument. They couldn't say that because most of these suggestions came from the Protestant church, which tend to take the Bible literally. So they cannot say John did not know his geography.
That makes sense
to say so. What adds to this is that John was very much familiar with Jerusalem. He tells about Jerusalem more than anybody else. He was familiar with Jerusalem. So they say if he was familiar with Jerusalem, why not to be familiar with Galilee? But Galilee is about 100 miles north of Jerusalem.
Yeah.
And we don't know why his Galilee is so awkward.
Yeah.
And if you check, for instance, the itinerary of Jesus, according to John, he's on the west side of the Sea of Galilee, and he wants to cross to the other side of the Sea of Galilee. Instead of crossing to the other side, going east, right? If you're on the west, you want to go to the east side, you go east. So instead of going east, he goes north.
Oh.
And not just northwest.
So is that different than how it's mentioned in, say, the other Gospels, like in Matthew, Mark, and Luke?
Yeah, they mention Bethsaida, but not the location of it.
Oh, okay.
So,
but in terms of like travel, when they mention travel, is it the same
they
as
don't
John?
mention this traveling this traveling to the northwest. Yeah, John makes Jesus travel to the northwest, to the city of Tyre, and then go farther northeast to the city of Caesarea Philippi, and then finally he gets to the Sea of Galilee. So he goes, he makes a big roundabout, in order just to cross a few miles to the
Interesting.
To this. So nobody said, oh, hey, how about if John, who was so familiar with Jerusalem, did not know anything about the geography of Galilee.
Mm-hmm.
From the other Gospels, we don't get any information about where Bethsaida is located. In fact, Bethsaida is mentioned more often than any other site in the Holy Land except for Capernaum and Jerusalem.
Oh, okay.
So that's the third more mentioned site in the Gospels, but only John says in this reference, in this verse, where it's supposed to be located.
Mm-hmm.
So the debate was so heated and so frustrating until the end of the 19th century. There was an author by the name of I forgot his name. But anyway, an American author who've been to all these places, and he was also frustrated with this question. And he wrote a book, Historical Geography of the Holy Land. That is his title of the book. He wrote that no matter where the place is, it doesn't really make any difference. Why? Because Jesus condemned all these places. So they kind of, went to oblivion, and it doesn't make any difference because they were all destroyed because Jesus condemned them.
Yeah. Okay.
This solution comes out of frustration of where Bethsaida is, and you can tell.
This is a piece of a larger conversation that I had. You can watch the full episode by clicking here, or listen to it on Spotify, Apple Music, and wherever you listen to podcasts by searching for Truth and Tradition. I'll see you guys there.